Well, it's a trial that's been 2 years in the making, and it got underway in Spokane Superior Court.
Suspended police officer Jay OIsen is accused of shooting Shonto Pete after the pair exchanged insults in front of a downtown tavern. KXLY4's Jeff Humphrey is live at the courthouse tonight, where law enforcement officers are prosecuting one of their own. Jeff?
And Mike, that's why prosecutors were so insistent about bringing this case to trial. An off-duty officer who had been drinking abandoned his years of training and experience and tried to single-handedly track down a suspected car thief. Shonto Pete has now been acquitted of that crime, and now it's Officer Olsen who's facing some serious prison time. Shonto Pete took the stand today and was the first to admit that he was drunk the night he found himself stranded downtown and looking for a ride home. That's when he spotted Jay OIsen and a friend sitting inside their car outside a Spokane tavern.
He approached the vehicle, asked for a ride. The driver, or the passenger, was a male, later identified as Officer Olsen, basically said a vernacular, F you, to Mr. Pete.
Pete says he just walked away, but Olsen says Pete stole his nearby idling pickup truck. The pair both ended up in a foot pursuit down a dark embankment in Peaceful Valley. Pete says he stopped running when Olsen said he just wanted to talk to him.
I turned around, I got shot in the head.
And how do you know that you got shot in the head at that time?
Because I heard the gunshot and I felt it hit my head.
Prosecutors hope to prove Olsen shot a second time as Pete resumed running away from the officer, but Olsen's attorney says his client only fired one volley of bullets when he thought Pete was about to shoot him.
And the actions that this individual did that created a fear to Officer Olsen based on his training, and you're going to hear about that, what he believed he needed to do for his personal safety, to protect himself.
Today, Pete admitted he was armed with a small pocket knife that night, but prosecutors insist Pete never threatened Olsen. They say the officer was on an alcohol-fueled rage that night and regretted Pete surviving the incident.
At one point, the defendant asks Officer Dahl, "How's he doing?" referencing Mr. Pete. Officer Dahl said, "He's okay and he's talking." And the defendant responded, "Damn."
Now, today we learned that Officer Olsen will be taking the stand in his own defense to explain to the jury why his use of deadly force was justified that tonight. However, other officers will say that Olsen tried to avoid them as they arrived on scene and was behaving much more like a criminal than an officer who had just been involved in a legitimate shooting. Reporting at the courthouse, Jeff Humphrey, KXLY4.